What's up, you guys? It's Becca. Welcome back to another class with me. Today's sequence is going to focus on healthy hips. So we're going to be moving through poses and postures that really help to just open up and activate the hips. If you have a block, I do recommend that you grab one. And if you are not already down on the mat, please meet me there now. We are going to start things off today in a Sukhasana, so a cross-legged position in whatever way feels best, most comfortable for you. We are going to close off the eyes and bring the hands to the tops of the knees. And very slowly we are going to start to take circles. Okay, whatever way, clockwise, counterclockwise, whatever feels good. Small circles here to start, just opening up or waking up rather the sit bones. And then start to make these circles a little bit bigger. And don't worry about who is maybe looking at you. Try not to get too attached to the aesthetic of this movement. Just really work on being super present in yourself and your body this moment on your mat. All right, let's start to make those circles a little smaller until we ultimately come to a super still position. Okay? And then let's switch the way our legs are crossed. So if you are like me and typically have your right leg on top, let's switch that, bringing the left on top. May feel a little awkward. Bringing the hands to the tops of the knees again keeping the eyes closed off or at a soft gaze in front of you. We're going to take those hip circles again, go in the other direction. So the opposite direction from what you did last time on the other side. Again, starting off super small and then making those circles nice and big as you can possibly get, taking up a lot of space here. Again, not worrying about how you look in this moment. And then start to make those circles smaller until you ultimately come to stillness in your seat. Keeping the hands on the tops of the knees, eyes closed off, gazing directly, or head should be facing rather, directly in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall in this seat, so thinking about your sit bones, taking energy from the earth, using that energy to pull the spine up taller, straighter, lengthening in the seat through the top, the crown of your head, sitting up nice and tall, nice and strong. And then opening up the eyes here. Inhale, let's take the arms up overhead, gazing up at the thumbs. Dropping now the right hand down by the right hip. Let's stretch it over to the right. So left fingertips reach over to the right, cracking open the left side body here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Coming back through center, raising the right arm up. And then placing the left hand down by the left hip and taking it over to the left. So right fingertips stretch over to the left, cracking open the right side body here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back up through center. Inhale. Exhale. Clasp the hands behind the back. Draw the knuckles down, the shoulder blades together. Pulling the chin up and away from the chest. So creating a lot of space there. From the earlobes to the shoulder blades. Getting nice and long in that space. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Release the hands. Coming down into a bound angle pose or a butterfly pose. So the soles of the feet together here, okay? Now, if you can bring the heels in close to the midline of the body, wonderful. If you need a little bit of space, that is totally fine. So wherever it is that you need to be, works just fine as long as the soles of the feet are together, okay? Now, grabbing the ankles here with both hands. Inhale, let's lengthen through the spine here. Again, sitting up nice and tall. And taking these elbows now and placing them along the insides of the legs here and using this positioning of the elbows to push the knees down. Again, it's just a little bit of resistance as we are working into the hips here and opening things up. Using that position of the elbows to push the knees down into the earth. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Releasing the grip of the hands. Let's take our legs out into a wide-legged fold here, okay? First, by placing our fingertips behind the sit bones. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, let's fold. Now, if you need your block to bring the floor, the ground up a little bit closer to you, by all means, take that block. Use it to help you, okay? Or not, depending on where you are in this forward fold. Okay, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back up through center. Let's bring this left foot in. So bending the left knee, placing the left foot along the right side groin here. We're going to take it over to the right now. So reaching up and over with the left fingertips. Maybe this left hand grabs the foot anywhere really along this right leg. Wherever you fall, wherever you land today. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back up through center. Extending the left leg out long and bending the right leg in, placing that right foot along the left side groin. Taking it over now to the left. Maybe asking yourself or assessing the body in terms of its differences. So maybe this side feels a little bit different than the right side did, or the other side did. So just recognizing, assessing those differences. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back through center. Let's take both legs out long again. Inhale onto the fingertips, finding a long spine here. Exhale, fold. Seeing now if you can fold a little bit deeper this second time around. So assessing how the body feels in this wide-legged forward fold. This second time around. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back up through center. Let's take this block off to the side. And let's bring our feet flat onto the earth. Okay? A little bit wider than what would be hip width distance. Okay? Making sure that our feet are grounding down firmly into the earth. Placing the hands behind the glutes here, high on the fingertips if that feels comfortable for you. Okay? Now keeping the feet grounded and the upper body in a relatively straight position here. So not much movement with the upper body. We're going to drop the right knee down to the mat. Take our gaze over to the left here as we do that. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, drop the left knee. Take the gaze over to the right. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, right knee drops. So Working into the hips here. Inhale through center. Exhale, left knee drops. Inhale back through center. Exhale, right knee drops. Doing these on your own time, okay, at your own pace. Maybe hanging out a little bit longer on one side. If a certain side needs a little bit more time and attention, okay? Taking it one more time each way. And then meeting me back in the center. Beautiful. And finding from here a tabletop position. All right, so wrists stacked directly underneath our shoulders. Our fingers are spread nice and wide. Hips directly over the knees here. We're going to take this right leg out long. Now, if it feels good to have the toes pointing out at what would be sort of a 2 o'clock, feel free. And we're going to wake up this right side groin a little bit by taking our weight forward and back. So waking up the groin, also waking up the wrists as well. Again, working as fast, as slow as you need, making these movements, these motions as big or as small as you need. Good, and then coming back into a neutral position, let's take this right knee back in, okay? Now extend the right leg out, back behind us, keep the toes down, and extend the left arm out in front, bicep along the ears, actively reaching with the left fingertips, good. Now with a tight core, let's lift this right leg up off the ground, keeping this foot flexed so toes are pointed down into the mat. Beautiful, inhale. And exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. One more. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Beautiful. Dropping the left hand down, bringing the right knee back into the tabletop position. And taking now on this right side a few hydrants. Now they are called hydrants for a reason. We are going to simulate what it looks like when a dog pees on a hydrant. It is fairly simple to do. So keeping the hands grounded down, keeping this left knee grounded down, we're going to peel or open up this right hip, almost like a 90-degree angle here. Inhale. Exhale, close without dropping the knee, let it hover. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Nice and strong. 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Strong core. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Beautiful. Dropping that knee down. Let's sit back on the heels for just a moment, shaking out the hands here. We're doing a lot on the wrists as well. And then coming back into that tabletop, taking the left leg out to the side again, bringing or pointing those toes out to what would be about 10 o'clock. And opening up the left side groin here. So taking our weight forward and back. Again, making these movements big or small, working at your own pace. Again, seeing how things feel different here on the opposite side. We are not symmetrical, and even though we do the same thing on the right side and the left side in yoga, there are always going to be differences that we feel. Now coming back into a neutral position, let's bring that left knee back into tabletop and then extend it out long, keeping the toes down. Good. Now extending the right arm out long, actively reaching forward, keeping the bicep along the ear. We're going to lift up that back left leg. Again, keeping the toes nice and flexed here. Inhale. Exhale, crunch, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. One more. Exhale, crunch, knee to elbow. And extend. Beautiful. Right hand down. Left knee down. Beautiful. And then finding those hydrants. We're going to do 5 on the left side here. So grounding down through the hands and the right knee. Inhale, open it up here on the left side. Exhale, release the knee, let it hover. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. Nice and strong through the midline of the body. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Releasing it back down. This time coming into a wide-legged child's pose. So knees to the outside edges of the mat. Let's walk the hands out nice and long. And let's bring our attention to our hips. We have really done a lot to wake them up, to open them up already. So really thinking in this child's pose, in this wide-legged child's pose, about sinking into the hips, letting that lower body get nice and heavy. I'm thinking just about how you feel. How you feel in the hip points, in the hip joints. Sending your breath, its energy, its movement into the hip region. Really just dialing in to that part of the body. I always encourage when it is a class that is focused on a certain area of the body to really be conscious of that space as we are working through the class. Even as you are breathing, as you're inhaling and exhaling, sending the breath, sending energy to that area of the body as we are physically targeting that area as well. 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Now finding a downward facing dog from here. So taking your time to get there, okay? And then in your downward facing dog, taking whatever movements you need to take to get comfortable. I like to pedal out my feet. Maybe you like to drop your heels from side to side to really wake up the back of the body. Remembering that you can always have a bend in the knees here. A bend in the knees in a downward facing dog is totally fine. And in that movement, remembering at the same time to stay strong in the hands, to push the mat away with both hands evenly, to let the head hang nice and heavy, gazing back at the toes or the navel. Nice and strong here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Now staying grounded down with both hands. Inhale, raise the right leg high. Let's bend the right knee here. So opening up the hip. Maybe gazing under the left armpit at that right foot. Letting the right foot get nice and heavy as we are opening up the hip here. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back through center. Let's drop that right foot down. Inhale. Take the left foot up. Bending now into the left knee. So opening up the left hip here. Gazing at the left foot underneath the right armpit. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back through center. And then dropping the knees. Let's find a child's pose again. So we are working into the hips, but we are also doing a lot on the hands, on the wrists. So taking just a moment, a wide-legged, a narrow child's pose, whatever feels good for you here. Let's take 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Coming back now into that facing dog. Again, taking your time to get there. Good. Inhale, raise the right leg high. Exhale, step the right foot now to the outside of the right hand. Let's drop that back knee down. Let's find a low lizard here. So our hands are directly under our shoulders. That back knee is down. And this right arm, this right shoulder is right along the inside of my right shin, my right leg, okay? Taking a couple of moments here in this low lizard again to dial into what is happening in the hips. Sending your breath, sending your energy there. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now if we are feeling up for it, if you are looking to work into the hips a little bit further, this is a beautiful place to be if not. But rolling now onto the outside of the right foot rather, let's use the right hand to push the right knee away, taking our gaze in that direction as well. Now again, staying here is where you feel like you need to be today. By all means, stay right here. Or taking this just a slight step further, using the resistance of the right hand to push and open the right hip here a little bit further. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Come back through center plant. Both hands down. Untuck the back toes and let's step it back into a downward facing dog. Here in our down dog, thinking about maybe how the right side feels a little different than the left. Maybe feels a little bit more open, a little bit more available to you. So assessing the differences here. Good. Inhale, let's take the left leg up. Exhale, step that left foot to the outside of the left hand now, dropping that back knee down. Finding a low lizard here on the opposite side. Again, making sure our hands are stacked directly under our shoulders. Maybe closing off the eyes here, finding a soft gaze as we really dial into the hip points here. Sending breath, energy, consciousness into that area of the body. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now staying here with the hands or rolling onto the outside of the left foot and using this left hand to push the knee open and away from the midline of the body. Taking the gaze in that direction as well. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Coming back through center, left hand plants. Pop the back knee off the mat. Let's step it back now into a downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, raise the right leg high again. Exhale, step that foot to the outside of the right hand. Now, you can always drop that back knee down again if this is where you would like to be, okay? If not, let's keep that back knee elevated off the mat here, okay? So we are in a high lizard pose. Now, if you are looking to take this just a step further, so staying high, okay, long spine, gazing out in front. Let's walk the hands about 6 inches forward from where they would normally be. So usually the hands are right underneath the shoulders. So let's walk it out about 6 inches. Maybe coming up onto the fingertips here, okay? Again, keeping your gaze long out in front, a nice long spine here. All right, and always the option to stay here or to keep that back knee down, toes untucked. All are beautiful places to be. All right, wherever you are, let's take 3 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Walking the hands back in underneath the shoulders. And then stepping it back into a downward facing dog. Great work, you guys. One breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it forward to the outside of the left hand. Again, dropping that back knee down if this low lizard is where you want to be today. Or keeping that back knee popped up and elevated. And then walking the hands out in front, extending this high lizard. So again, all three positions are beautiful places to be. So thinking about where you want to be today, maybe this side feels different than the other side. Maybe you need to do something different on this side in comparison to the other side. So taking note of that and listening to your body. 3 breaths wherever you are. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Taking the hands back underneath the shoulders. Let's step it back into a downward facing dog. Beautiful work, you guys. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, so setting up now for Pigeon Pose. Inhale, raise the right leg high. Exhale, bend the right knee, bringing the knee to the nose here. So we're in a high plank position, knee to nose. And then let's drop that right knee behind the right wrist. Drop the left knee down on top of the toes here, okay? Now, this position most likely looks different for everyone. If you have super open hips, if you're able to bring this right shin at a 90-degree or rather a parallel position with the front of the mat, if that is where you are, that's wonderful. If you are someone like myself that needs to have more of a bend here in the knee, bringing the foot closer to the midline of the body, again, that is a beautiful place to be. And you can see, or hopefully you can see, that my knee is angled out slightly to about 2 o'clock, okay? So that's sort of along the lines of what we are going for here in this pigeon pose. Again, being mindful that this shin can be either parallel or bent in closer to the midline of the body, depending on where you're at, okay? Now, this is a little bit too intense for you. You can either have this left foot planted, crossing right over left, okay? Or you can find this same position down on your back, clasping the hands behind the left leg, and then drawing the leg into the chest here. So all 3 options are beautiful places to be. So figuring out what feels good for you here. If you are in an upright position such as myself, you can always grab a block, a blanket, a bolster, and prop it underneath that right hip if you need to bring the ground a little bit closer to you, okay? Now you can see I'm up on my fingertips here. Inhale. Let's find a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, fold. Now remembering here in this fold that we don't want you necessarily collapse over the front of the body. We really want to maintain that center of gravity in the hips. And that is not always easy to do, so I say these reminders many times for myself. Again, visualizing that the hips are holding most of our weight here, that they are maintaining the center of gravity for us. That's what we are working towards here in this position, in this pose. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Bringing the weight now back into the hands. Let's find a downward facing dog again here. Taking one breath. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful.
Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, bend the left knee into the nose, so we are in that high plank position, knee to nose. And then let's drop that left knee down behind the left wrist. Untuck the back toes, drop the knee down. And again, see how things feel on the opposite side here. Okay, remembering that this knee is out to about 10 o'clock. And you can always prop something underneath this hip if you need to elevate the ground a bit. Or you can take this position down onto your back, seated upright. All are beautiful places to be, and all will provide you with the benefits that this pose, this seated pigeon pose aims for, okay? Inhale, let's come up onto the fingertips, finding a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, let's fold it down. Again, not collapsing in this fold, but maintaining that center of gravity, our weight in the hips, in the middle of the body. Taking 2 more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Bringing your weight now back into the hands. Let's untuck the back toes and step it back into a downward facing dog. Great work, you guys. 2 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now from our downward facing dog, let's keep our hands grounded down at the top of the mat, and let's take teeny tiny baby steps with the feet up to the top of the mat. And find a forward fold when you get there. Grabbing opposite elbows, letting the body just hang. Keeping the weight forward on the balls of the feet here. Making sure that if you need to have a bend in these knees, that you do so, okay? Allowing the chest to get nice and close to the tops of the thighs. Nice and compressed here in this fold. Beautiful, releasing the hands. Let's curl the body up nice and slow. Head comes up last, raising the arms up overhead, and then drawing hands through heart center. Great work, you guys. We're going to find now a wide-legged prasarita, so wide-legged forward fold here. Bringing hands to hips, let's with a flat back fold halfway. So we are with the chest, with the upper body, forming a parallel line with the earth. Now our hands can stay here at our hips, or they can extend out to the sides, okay? Remembering to keep our weight forward, to not sink back onto the heels, to not collapse backward, but to make sure that our weight is being pulled forward as well, maintaining that center of gravity here. 2 breaths, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Good. Bringing the hands to the hips if they are not already, and then folding it all the way down, releasing it down. Now positioning the feet, or adjusting the feet rather, to a place that feels comfortable for you in this fold. So maybe that means more narrow, maybe that means wider. Finding a position that feels good for you here. Taking 2 breaths, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Good. Inhale, bringing hands to hips with a flat back. Let's stand. Inhale, raise the arms up high. Exhale, draw hands through heart center. We're going to find a Skandasana on the right side. So Skandasana is a low lunge here on the right side. Now, taking the toes out to about 2 o'clock,
we are going to either find a low Skandasana position here, or maybe stay a little higher, elevated up off the earth. So again, both are beautiful places to be if you would like to stay higher up in this position or lower, depending on how your hips feel, how they feel at this point. We've done a lot of work into the hips already. Regardless of where you choose to be, remembering that this right foot needs to be flush and flat against the earth, okay? So finding a high or a low position here, keeping this foot flat, and having the arms either out in front, grounding down, or at heart center. So wherever feels good for you. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Using the hands to push us back through center. Bringing the hands to the hips with a flat back. Let's rise. Inhale, raise the arms up high. Exhale, draw hands through heart center. Let's take it over now to the left. So popping the toes out to about 10 o'clock. Let's find that Skandasana position here. On the opposite side, again, staying low or staying high. Okay, again, both work right into this left side groin. That is exactly where we are targeting. Both are beautiful places to be. So assessing where you are at, what your body allows. Again, making sure that this left foot is flat against the mat here, that it is not flying off. Sometimes the heel has the tendency to do that, so finding a lower high position that allows you to keep the foot flat on the earth. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Using the hands, let's walk it back through center. Bringing now the hands to the hips again with a flat back. We are going to stand, raising the arms up high overhead. Exhale, let's draw the hands through heart center. So bringing the feet now to about hip width distance apart, we are going to find a Malasana, a Yogi Squat. So taking the toes out to about 10 and 2, we are going to sink low into this Malasana. Now, if you have the anatomy, or rather really open hips at this point, that's totally not. Okay, now grabbing your block, making sure that you have it within arm's reach, we are going to work into a Malasana, a Yogi Squat. So toes are out to about 10 and 2, and you're going to have to adjust exactly where your feet are, whether that's a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, making sure now that you have your block within arm's reach, we are going to work into a Malasana, a Yogi Squat. So the toes should be pointed out to about 10 and 2, and you're going to have to adjust exactly where your feet are in comparison to hip width distance apart, depending on how your hips are feeling, what your anatomy is like. But we are working now into a Yogi Squat. So the main thing that I would like you guys to focus on in this position is, again, having the feet flush and flat against the mat. Now, if you need a block to do so, feel free. You can grab that block, place it right underneath your sit bones at any height. So adjusting the height based on where you are, what you need at this point. Again, making sure that these feet are flat on the earth, okay? If you don't need a block, then you don't need a block. But bringing hands through heart center here and using now the elbows, the position of the hands here, to again push the knees away from the midline of the body. So this is a super active pose, okay? So we are really working into the hips here. They should feel very open, very available to you at this point. Using the elbows to push the knees open and away. Closing off the eyes maybe, or finding a soft gaze out in front. We're going to take 3 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Release the hands down. Let's make our way onto our seat. And we're going to take it now all the way down onto our backs. And on our back here, we're going to find that bound angle pose that we worked into at the very beginning of our practice here. So on our backs, we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Now what I like to do in this position is to bring my hands to my hip points. We've done a lot with the hips today. We have really worked into this space. So here in this reclined bound angle pose, the hips should hopefully feel energized, open, alive, activated. Closing off the eyes here. And again, sending the breath, the inhales, the exhales, to that area of the body, bringing our consciousness and our awareness to this area of the body that we worked so hard on today. Now this is where we are going to end our practice today. So I encourage you to stay here in this Sukhasana for as long as you need. If this is too much for you, again, we have done a lot with the hips. So if this position is not really giving you what you need as you are winding down, feel free to find a traditional Shavasana, extending the legs out long in front and settling in or winding down your practice there. So in either space, I encourage you to take as much time as you need. And of course, until next time, I hope that you all had an amazing flow here with me today. I will see all of you guys